We will conclude by going outside to watch the formation flying performed by our PJC pilot. Weather committee. Are we on to the so far so good. We're ready to go on. Dave, where are you? Here we go. Just for the record.
For all of us to get together, and it's wonderful to have you all here. We thought it was just going to be a small little event, and look at this. This is great. I also want to thank all of the veterans that are here. And let me see Everyone who is a vet, I know. Thank you so much. And I want to thank the Tuskegee Airmen also specifically and personally. I was with them when we went to the Presidio to see their documentary, and now, of course, they're movie stars in absentia for the Red Tails, which I haven't seen yet. I hear it's great, and I am dying to see this. You know, the story of the Tuskegee Airmen, which I'm going to introduce Dave Cunningham, and he's going to tell you about the story of the Tuskegee. But this was an amazing, amazing thing that happened in our nation's history, because they flew and they protected pilots, but in no...
A little bit later on, there was a gentleman who, as a teenager, he found a passion to fly, and there was nothing that was going to stop him. Nobody would teach him. So he worked in the airport, worked in a hangar like this maybe, and just sat around cleaning up or whatever he could do and listened to the stories of the guys that were flying daily. His name was Charles Alfred Anderson. And as a young man, he learned everything he could, borrowed, begged, stole, whatever he could do to buy his first airplane, and took this airplane and began by taxiing down this grass strip. They didn't have paved fields like they do now. So they're all grass strips. He just taxied down the grass strip, back and forth, a little faster each time. Eventually the plane took off. And he says, okay, now I gotta bring it back down. About this time, there was a guy in Germany named Adolf Hitler that was starting his projects too. And as he was developing, so were we. We started the pressure to the government to get the people, get the African Americans flying was so great that they wanted to get this going. They chose 5 of the African American colleges, and from those 5, they selected Tuskegee, Alabama, to be the one college that was going to be their training place, where they started training the pilot trainers. And from there, they went to, they were just flying around, developing, waiting for the cadets program to be developed. When Eleanor Roosevelt decided she was going to come down to Tuskegee. Now, Chief Anderson was the chief flight instructor down there in Tuskegee, and when Eleanor Roosevelt got there, she said she wanted to fly with one of the pilots, and she selected Chief Anderson. The picture of him in the airplane is in one of those posters back there, if you've had a chance to look at them. But she flew with him for roughly about an hour, give or take, and came back and she said, these guys can fly. So she went and told her husband, the current president at the time, and said, these guys can fly, we're going to get them going. And that's what started the pilot training program for the cadets. The first class of cadets, there were 13 of them in the class. The 100th, the 301st, and 302nd, all to form the 332nd Fighter Group. Now, the planes that they flew that were already mentioned, the P-40, the P-39, which they didn't like, the P-47, which did a lot more than any of the movies have said. They just can't find a P-40 to take pictures of to put into a movie. That's why they don't use those. Because that P-47 was the actual first Red Tail. It wasn't the P-51, like in the movies. Now, one of the things that was going on during the war is they figured they had enough fighter pilots, so they said, okay, let's expand this a little bit and see if we can get some bomber outfits going. So they developed bomber training, and the pilots, navigators, and gunners all had to be trained, and they started the 477th Bomber Group. And there were, I believe, 4 squadrons in that. I don't know the numbers offhand. But, okay. All right. Well, Les Williams, who you're getting signatures from, pictures from, and all that, he was the first bomber pilot that was trained with the 477. He's the first to complete that. And Leroy Gilead was one of the navigators. Yeah, they're great. Oh, if you saw the HBO movie or the Red Tails movie, in both of those, you saw where they attacked a destroyer and blew up the destroyer. They sank that destroyer, and for everything that I know of, that was the only destroyer that was sunk by 50 caliber fire. There were no others. All the others that were sunk were by bombs. They weren't done by 50 caliber. And just machine guns. And it was the only one by the Red Tails. And it was a P-47 that did it, not the P-51. In 1949, there was, the Air Force had decided to hold the first Top Gun. How many saw the movie Top Gun? No. Again, a lot of hands. Okay, that was Navy. The first Top Gun was actually Air Force, and that was held in Las Vegas. And they invited one group from the Red Tails in their P-47s to come to this shootout that they were having. And they didn't expect them to do anything. Well, too bad, they won it. And it was great. Well, I didn't know about that. I heard a rumor about it about 5 or 6 years ago. And I said, I can't say anything about this until I know for sure. I went to a convention a couple years ago, and it was for sure. They did win that first Top Gun. All right. Something that had interested me for a long time is how did the word get out to the people that wanted to sign up for being a cadet? And the word got out. We had a pretty intricate black press at the time. We also had churches that shared the word. And that's how the word got out. Also the black universities. The word got out there because at first they wanted people with 4-year degrees. And that changed as the war went along because they were getting all worn out. So they took people with 1 or 2 years of college, sometimes, and you'll know this, sometimes right out of high school. But not so much our Tuskegee guys, but the others. Lieutenant Leroy Gilead.
But coincidentally, when they first allowed blacks to enter the Air Corps, I responded in April of 1941. And it so happened I ended up as a navigator, bombardier, in the bomber group, the 477 bomber group in the 616 Squadron. And Les was a pilot in that same squadron. So we go back some years. That's what I was trying to tell them, mention that we go back. But that's just coincidental, okay? But other than that, we have nothing else in common.
My story is not too romantic, but this is true. That I lucked out and became the first black bomber pilot to be commissioned in the United States Air Corps. And I don't think...
And that's what I came really to do, is to thank those people.
Thank you, Fred.
I just want to give you something. Fred was telling me earlier that the 8th Air Force often got all the credit for doing the heavy lifting, and was it the 12th maybe was shunned by the press, particularly the Tuskegee. So I don't know if that's true. It appears to be true from the long run of history. So I brought my dad's 8th Air Force insignia, and I'd like to present it to you guys as perhaps a symbolic token of thanks for credit from the 8th to a group that was perhaps under-recognized. So congratulations for your service.
Thank you.
Tuskegee Airmen and our chaplain, I accept this. Thank you very much.
I have to come today because you guys mean more to me than there are no words. And I want to thank you so much for serving. And I'm very sorry for what you went through. It's all so embarrassing. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, next up, we have a flight of 5 former Chinese Air Force fighter trainers. All these are flown by California-based pilots, part of an international organization known as the RedStars pilots. It's really going to be fun to watch. All the airmen are on board the aircraft right now.
Front seat, VIP just for you.
Okay, here they come. Diamond formation with Stinger. The spacing looks real good. The idea is aircraft are all stepped down just a little bit from the aircraft next to it. In the event something should happen, the disabled aircraft would slide behind the other aircraft. Okay, that's beautiful. Here they come. It's a beautiful step down, beautiful spacing. Smoke should be coming on. There it is. And look at that. That's well flown.
And he said they'd fly into a crop like a bomber, whatever, they'd fly in a crop, and, you know, the white farmer in the south would be running up to the plane, and he'd see all these black guys getting out of the plane, you know. He's going, and he's looking for the white guy. He says, wait a minute, because you can't fly, where's the white guy? The white guy's supposed to be flying, coming off the plane. He used to tell us stories like that.
And oftentimes guys would go, okay, pull the chalks back, get some below 2100 RPM, and go, where are you going to land? And I'm not even thinking. I'm not even thinking. Yes, I'm not even thinking about it. He'll go, okay. And then, of course, then he'd say, recover. And he'd say, your point is that you never know when something's going to happen, know where you're going to land.